This video is sponsored by Bityard. With over 400 cryptos to trade on their spot, perpetual coin futures, USDT futures, with leverage of 1x to up to 125x, you can trade foreign exchange, commodities like gold, silver and oil, and traditional markets like Nasdaq, all with some of the lowest fees available on any trading platform. You can use their copy trader to copy other traders with better performance than you, or you can become a copy trader yourself and earn a few extra % from the people that follow you. Plus you got 9 out of 10 stars from the Coin Bureau guy. Bityard. Good morning everybody, let's have a look at, excuse me, JASMY. We're going to look at Tether and its Bitcoin pair, but also we're going to have to think about Bitcoin. It is Sunday, bit of a lame day for the most part. It's never my favourite trading day. In fact, I'd probably say it's the worst one. You know, because obviously crypto trades are on a 24-hour basis, 7 days a week. Traditional markets, we know we kind of need them at the moment to give us a clue as to the overall strength or weakness of the general markets. And everything's trending as one. So Sunday, if we ever have had any sort of gains made over the weekends, it's not uncommon to see them sort of wiped out Sunday evening, Sunday afternoon. So there is that, but we'll end up looking at Bitcoin just at the end. Let's have a think about JASMY. So JASMY got nice little setups brewing at the moment. So this is your 4-hourly golden cross, more or less in the bag, so long as we hold above 1 cent, basically, just above 1 cent. We'll get the golden cross. Now the golden cross isn't a signal. People like to think of it as a signal, but it's not. It's just a trend continuing and strengthening. So basically allowing for these moving averages to become more sturdy supports if we come down, which we most likely will do at some point, to retest them. So yeah, don't ever try and play a golden cross. What you could do though, if you ever wanted to, is get excited about a golden cross and then, oh there we go, we just got the golden cross, and a new 4-hourly candle has been born. So yeah, rather than trying to play the cross going, yeah, we got the cross, let's go. Nah, wait for what is almost certainly going to be a retest of the golden cross, which means that JASMY would likely at some point come down to its, you know, its 200 exponential on the 4-hourly. Doesn't have to happen today. Could come down next week. We could continue to go up and then come down to retest it. It is a 4-hourly, so these, you know, if we stay above them, these moving averages, they are lagging, but on a 4-hourly they'll move up. So there's a nice little setup, and there you go. We've got that on the 4-hourly. That's good. Just move it to the 12-hourly, and we also have not quite closed yet. I'll just get rid of this trend line so we can see. This will be a pump signal that would be generated on a 12-hourly Ichimoku cloud. So you know, it would pump up to its next major level of support. So obviously this is a support, so you would expect that if we get this, if this is generated, which would need a candle body closure in the next 4 hours of 1.1 cent, then over the next few days, maybe some point next week, we would get a big push up, and that push up could take us most likely up to around 1.4 cent, which to me seems like the most obvious place of support stroke resistance. So that's our next major target, and it could easily just get a sell-off from there. So 1.4 cents on the tether pair. Outside of that, nothing a great deal on the daily. In fact, the daily is a bit, you know, it's not overreaching. It's showing signs of continuous momentum, but the money flow index is pretty high. For what it's worth, obviously that's not ridiculously high, but this is the second highest it's been on the daily for JASMY on its Binance chart. So take that for what it's worth. Trading at 23 million in a 24-hour period. So I would expect, you know, whether we have a small consolidation down into that 4-hourly golden cross, or we pump straight up and then come back down to retest the golden cross. Either way, both of those situations are perfectly valid with the setups that we can see at the moment. So let's have a look at Bitcoin's pair. So this is JASMY to Bitcoin, which is a better setup, but offering exactly the same kind of clues. I'd say it was stronger, in fact, to be honest with you, but it's not yet sealed. So you see this GQ span, we're waiting for that to close above the cloud. You know, if we hold this price or higher, you know, that'll be a good setup for another pump. Now, if we get the pump and then we get this daily pump signal on top, then yeah, we could see a continuation of moves up. And I would probably be targeting, first of all, 62 to 63 sats, and then after that, maybe around 78 sats, which is a big deal. That would correspond with that 200 simple moving average, which is there. And so if you're thinking about that, that would be about a 40% move on its Bitcoin pair. Again, you know, this signal hasn't been confirmed yet, but you know, if it were to be, that would be the target. Outside of that, though, we do have support back down here once again. So this means a retest of this moving average, not a moving average, sorry. I'm a little bit hazy. I did a bit of drinking yesterday. I don't normally do that. So yeah, that would be back down to what, mid 40s, 47, 46 thereabouts, which is also your 50s exponential moving average on your daily. Now let's just take this to some other time frames on the Bitcoin pair. Continuation of a trend signal formed over here, still in play as well, so this is a good little setup. We're battling with this 56 sat zone, which is your 200 exponential on the 12 hourly, so there's a lot of momentum brewing, a lot of positive signals on JASMY, whether it be for a continuation of a pump or a continuation of a trend or just a pump. So we've got signals on both sides. We've got pump signals and trend signals forming. Look, to put it into context, like, JASMY is a massive shitcoin basically, but I like it, right? And you know, over enough time and in the right circumstances, like a bull market, which we're not in at the moment, I think this one will, you know, do really well. But for the moment, like, it does seem to have these sharp moves up, these and the volume's obviously usually pretty good. We do have all these signals that are going for us, which I don't take lightly. I do appreciate what I see here and take it for what it's worth, which is all very positive outlook. So yeah, we've got trend signals, we've got pump signals, we've got the lot on JASMY, and let's just check the 4 hourly. So yeah, we had a golden cross on JASMY's Bitcoin pair many moons ago, and we retested it as you would expect. So this is the sort of behaviour I'd expect to see on the tether pair, really. And again, you know, this is the equivalent of where the tether pair. So this is where this is the setup that we had previously on the Bitcoin pair. This is what's going on right now. We just watched the cross form on this last 4 hourly candle. So this is where tether pair is, and this is the sort of behaviour you'd expect to see generally. And so obviously this has taken several weeks to continue with that trend. We've just got it now on its tether pair. Yeah, come on, hyper trader. I know that it happened. Stop messing with me. Maybe I need to have another coffee. Yeah, there we go. So it did work, but the hyper trader just needs to catch up. So long story short, JASMY looks good on the short-term time frames and medium-term time frames. The only problem I've got now is Bitcoin, which unfortunately, if we look at the money flow index over here on the 4 hourly, we read a 92, which is pretty high, and momentum is dwindling now. So with that in mind, you know, we could be in for a bit of consolidation after this last Bitcoin's last move. So think about where this gains traction. We did a 17% move. Currently we've consolidated down to the 21 exponential, held above that on the 4 hourly. We could easily come down to the 50 exponential, which is about 20,700. And if we just check the daily, what happened on the daily, so a retest here, tag of the 10 exponential, 21. So we kind of really want to hold above 21 to 20,750. If we start closing down below there, and then we're going to have to think about horizontal trend lines, and the most obvious one is going to be 20,000 for Bitcoin. So it's a bit of a pain in the ass that it's Sunday with all these nice signals on JASMY, and Bitcoin looking a little tired now, looking like it wants to kind of retest some of those lower zones, which should be perfectly fine. So if we start closing below 20,000, then I'd say that this would be a failed breakout, and we're effectively completing the inverse cupping handle that we were talking about the other day. So there's like I say, I'm sure you watch my channel, but if you don't, I'll just invert the chart so you can see it. It's bearish formation, obviously. We'll invert it so you can see it a little bit better. You can see it here on the daily, but we'll just move it up. So this is your cup, this is your handle, and effectively this is a retest of the bottom portion of the cup. If this were to break down and we broke out from here, it would invalidate the entire cupping handle, and that would be bullish. But until we've done that, effectively this is like a dodgy place to be, because what this might suggest is that if we do start breaking down again, we move our way up to the top of the cup, which is obviously this area here, which is 19,000, or you could measure it from the wick areas, which is 18,000. If we start breaking, well, if we do break below there, that's the cupping handle formation achieved, and this is what it would look like. And a breakout from the support, well, in this case resistance, but support obviously because it's inverted, would be a proper breakdown really, and you'd be going on to make new lows. So that's the situation for Bitcoin, which is the only variable in this equation, which is a shame really. So anyway, none of that has yet happened. We're still, you know, dancing within the cupping handle formation. It's not broken out, it's not been invalidated. So we'll just have to see how it goes, but just be aware of that. Any altcoin setup that looks super tasty and, you know, dead cert can just be ruined at the drop of a hat by Bitcoin. And at the moment, this is sort of mega resistance, really. That's the invalidation point of the cup and handle, the inverse cup and handle. Right, so I'm going to leave it with you there. Obviously, I'm going to be out and about with these kids again, the weekend. That's what we do as parents. So wish me luck with that, and I will be present on the Discord and Telegram and things like that if you want to reach out to me. But weekends are, not as simple as a weekday. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.